we all have a journey that we're trying to get to, but every journey, even though every journey looks different, the process is very similar.
Absolutely.
It's like you got to dig deep, you got to grind, you got to put in work.
God was preparing me for every moment, like every single moment, every step, every loss. It just fueled me, and it was like a switch. Like, all right,
I'm ready.
Those major moments are needed in life to, like, all right, if that didn't happen, I would have kept doing this, and then I get to the last dance, and it all fall apart.
Yeah. Welcome back, everybody, to another compelling thought. Remember, these thoughts are designed to help you on your journey in living a compelling life. Whatever it is that you may be pursuing, we want to help you on your journey, maximize every single day, squeeze everything that this life has to offer. And we have somebody here today that wants to help us on our journey in pursuing greatness. He has accomplished some amazing things at such a young age, such an amazing story. So we have the Olympic bronze medalist Omari Jones, Orlando's own, the banger. How you doing, Playboy?
I'm good. How about you?
Oh man, I'm good, bro. I've been looking forward to this one. So
yeah.
I know you're busy. I know you got a lot going on. We're gonna talk about the life after the Olympics, but today I really want to take it back. I'm big on the journey, right, and helping people understand that it takes time. Time.
That's how you get there.
So all right, so let's just dive right in. One thing that I wanted to talk about: so many people, they harp on, man, you're training 4 years for like one event, but you've been training longer than 4 years. Right. So let's start about, like, when did this all start? Like this idea of, man, I want to be an Olympic champion, or I want to train for the Olympics. Take me back to when that started. I
feel like the itch came when I went to my first Junior Olympics at 15.
Okay. And
I got the silver medal when I was 15 at the Junior Olympics, and as I was on the podium, there I was like,
I like this.
Wow, yeah.
You're like, I could do this.
Like it was called Junior Olympics, so I was like, okay, maybe I can take this, a little further. But of course, the journey started at 4 years old with karate.
Okay,
and then at 8 years old, that's when I transitioned into boxing, because my dojo happened to be at the same gym. So when you say 4 years, more like 14.
That's what I want to get to, because so many people just think, all right, hey, they're an Olympic champion, or hey, they're at the Olympics, they're performing in front of the world, but it's more than 4 years. A lot of these people have been doing it as a kid. So out of curiosity, what made you switch from karate to boxing? Like, what stood out?
Yeah, well, I was doing both at one point.
Okay.
Since like I said, my dojo was at the same gym.
Okay.
So right after karate, they picked me up. They picked me up from school, change into karate.
Got it.
Then right after karate, change into boxing, and then so it just was a cycle.
Got it.
But I felt like when I was 14, that's when my dad kind of made that transition. Like, you're gonna, one of these days you're gonna have to pick one. And I was going into high school, and it was basically no more basketball, no more, no more karate. Just that's when I had to lock in on boxing.
What about boxing made you want to lock in, like, versus basketball, football? Because you're athletic,
right.
You know what I'm saying? Pretty tall dude. What you could have done a lot of different things.
Right.
What about boxing was like, nah, this is it?
It was just like I fell in love with it from day one, pretty much. Like, as a child, my parents can kind of tell you, like, Omari, he, no matter what's going on, he gonna make sure he gets to that gym. And it's just like me, just kind of me being by myself, running the miles by myself. In the gym, I have teammates around me, but it's the work that, like, I put in. You put in the work, you gonna get it out, instead of depending on your teammate or something. I'm like, if it happened, it's either on me or my coach. But other than that, it's gonna fall on me.
That's right. Yeah. I never thought about that. To your point, though, boxing is one of those sports where it's like, It does fall. Always comes down to training. It
Right.
falls down on you, win or lose, so to speak. It comes down on you. So that's big. Okay, so you identified that early. You were like, I
Yeah.
want to. If the weight, I can handle it. It's all
Right.
on me.
Exactly. Yeah. When I say on my team, like it'll fall on me on my team because we come together. So it like what it's a big thing in boxing.
Yeah.
Like if the fighter does well, oh he looks sharp, he did great. If he doesn't do well, oh it's on the coach. So so I
It's
feel
a
like
team.
it's still a team, but I'm just the one in there fighting. So
That's big.
Yeah.
That's big. Okay, so how was training for the Junior Olympics like?
It wasn't as rigorous. It was, one workout a day, run my miles. But I feel like I had to hit that switch when I was 18 because I had to prepare for the nationals. Nationals is when everybody around the country in the U.S. competes at one tournament, and we fight for who's the number one. So I came into that tournament unseeded, and I had to fight 6 times.
Wow.
Within a 10, 11-day span in order to get my spot on Team USA at 18 years old.
All right, so pause. Bring it back. You had to fight how many times over like basically in a week and a half?
Yeah.
You had to fight 6, 7 times?
6 times. I think that's one of the records for like as many fights.
So take me through. So, all right. So take me through. Let's say fight 1, fight 2. You banged up. You feeling? You can't take too much damage because you bringing that in.
Right.
You don't have that much recovery time.
Exactly.
Wow. Okay.
So it was pretty much like at the beginning it was a fight, a day break, a fight, a day break. But the week is getting shorter. So them last 3 fights was basically back to back. Yeah.
Golly, bro. So winning those allowed you to be part of Team USA.
Exactly. So and it was tough. We fighting like I said, the best of the best in the country.
Yeah.
And it wasn't easy, 6 fights. And but I'll say, man, before that, I would go to national tournaments. Like I told you, the Junior Olympics when I was 15, and I came up short. I went to 2, 3 more other nationals, came up short. I'm like,
what's going on? Yeah, I feel you. It could be, in some sense, it could be demoralizing. Like, man, what's going on? But you kept going. You used that. Like, take me through that process. How come you didn't stop?
Because my dad, he kind of always told me, like, man, you train harder, you get your conditioning right, stuff like that. He was like, I really don't see nobody beating you. We just need to figure this out, get with the right team. And we did. We made an adjustment with coaches. Okay. We made an adjustment with strength and conditioning. And so, like I said, those major moments are needed in life to like, all right, if that didn't happen, I would have kept doing this, and then I get to the last dance and it all fall apart.
Yeah, bro. That's a bar.
Yeah.
So you felt like having to fight the back-to-back, it just made you stronger.
Right.
So that way when you did get to compete in front of the best,
right,
it just helped.
Yeah, God was preparing me for every moment. Like every single moment, every step, every loss, it just fueled me, and it was like a switch, like, all right,
I'm ready. All right. So now first of all, that's amazing. So many nuggets to pull out from there. So now take me through, all right, Junior Olympics, cool. I think I'm ready to big boy. I'm 18. I'm ready to, take it to the Olympics. Take me through that process.
Yeah.
What's the, I guess the preliminaries look like? Like, take me through to even prepare for that to get accepted.
Right.
What is that
Right.
like?
So I told you about the nationals. That's how I was able to get my spot on the team at 18 years old. And then I had to go through once I got there, I had to go through the evaluation camp.
Okay.
So they saw that I'm able to perform internationally on the international stage because they brought people in to test me from France, from so many different countries. And I showed them in sparring that I'm able to hang with the best of the best. So I get selected to go to World Championships.
Nice.
So that was my first outbreak on the international scene, and I came back with a silver medal.
Let's go.
And so that was my first
Yeah.
International tournament at
What year
18.
was that? 2020?
2021.
2021. Okay.
Yep. So that was my first outbreak. So they're like, oh, okay, like
Okay.
we might.
You on the scene now. You on
Yeah,
the scene.
I'm on
Okay.
the scene. So I came into the international scene blazing, and then so I kept doing other international tournaments. Got bronze at a couple, won gold at a couple. But once you hit the year before the Olympics,
Yeah.
that's when the qualifying process starts.
Okay.
So I go to my first qualifier,
Okay.
and I lost.
Ooh. So this is 2023?
This is 2023.
Okay.
2021, I got the silver.
Yes.
2022, I think I got bronze and gold that year.
Okay.
2023, leading up to it,
Yeah.
I was still on fire.
Okay.
I got 2 golds that year internationally back to back.
Okay. So you thinking, I'm ready.
I'm ready.
It's go time.
I got the momentum.
And then now you go in and you lose. Okay. How did
Yeah.
you bounce back from that?
Man, it was a lot of self-reflecting,
Yeah.
a lot of talks with God, just, wondering like, like,
Is
you
this
know,
it?
yeah, is this it? I gotta figure it out. Like, is
Yeah.
it slipping away?
Mhm.
Is it, what we
Should I pivot? What we doing? What we doing? I got you. Okay.
Yeah, so just a lot of prayers, man, and so once that year ends, January comes,
Okay.
and so since I didn't qualify, my Olympic spot isn't secured.
Ooh. Okay.
So whoever won the nationals,
Yeah.
they come and challenge me.
Got it.
So now I have to deal with that before getting another chance to qualify.
Okay. So this is January 2024.
Yeah.
You're like, if I don't win this, it's a wrap.
Right.
Got it. Okay.
Right. So
Okay.
I beat the guy who challenged me in Colorado Springs at the Olympic Training Center, and man, that was a close battle.
Yeah.
But so now my next qualifier is in Italy.
Yes.
So
remember you
I
going.
get that,
Yeah.
and then I go and I fight 4 fights. They only taking the top 4 in my weight class out of 72 people to go to the Olympic Games.
All right, let's pause it. That's why. There's one thing I wanted to look forward to in this conversation. So
Yeah.
when we think of the Olympics, it's the world,
Right.
So it's the best of the best in the world,
Right.
So it's not we may see 10 people in like a bracket or 16, but there's hundreds of people that didn't make it, so to speak. So you had to fight 4 times, and there was how many people? You said 70.
72 in my weight class.
Okay. And how over a stretch? How long of a stretch?
Same time, a
Like
week.
that-
A week.
Yo,
Yeah.
that's crazy. Okay, and I mean, you made out on top,
Right.
but take me through that process of having to bounce back quick and recover quick.
Right. So yeah, it was once you get to the Olympic stage, it's like they have so many access for recovery. So you got the cold tub, you got the sauna, you have the Normatec. When I was in the as we would say the trenches,
Yeah.
we didn't really have that. It was a cold shower or something, and you go to sleep and lose weight for the next fight and
That's wild.
start it back
over.
up. But yeah, there in Italy, it was the same thing. I would fight, recover. But that last fight, man, as you can see, I got cut, blood running down my face. It was a whole lot. So it was that. Even that process was tough because I'm like, I gotta dig deep.
Yeah.
This third round, it was up for grabs. So
all right, so let's pause there, man. I want to talk about a few things. So once again, one of the purposes of this channel is to help people on their journey. It's like, hey, whatever it is you're trying to pursue, one thing I always bring up is grit. You gotta have gritty faith. I'm gonna have some t-shirts soon, but gritty faith. This is like, yeah, you gotta have faith. God's gonna work everything out. The stars are gonna align, all that good stuff. But there's a level of grit that you gotta have too.
Oh, yeah.
So you spoke about, man, you had to dig deep. Like, what was in your mental Rolodex that you were going back to in a sense of like, look, I got to dig deep. What were some stuff that you were reflecting on when you had to dig deep?
in the last round,
Yeah, or just in general.
yeah, just knowing that I made it that far, like I made it to the actual qualifying match. My dreams is up for grabs,
Yeah,
and if I don't win this last round, it's like I came this far, and
that's so. When we think about and boxing is fighting is a metaphor for so many different things, but boxing is you actually fighting.
Right.
But if you're fighting for your dream, you gotta there's another level that you gotta go when it's all on the line.
Right.
And you definitely did that in real time.
Oh, yeah.
So okay. And then how important is recovery? I mean, I know it's important, but as I think through each fight, you had to recover for the next one and prepare for the next one. So how important is recovery?
Recovery is very important. I feel like it's important just as your training. You go do 2 to 3 workouts a day. You got to get your sleep. You got to go do the cold tub or the cryo. I do the hyperbaric chamber.
Yeah.
The sauna, steam room. You gotta make sure the body stays right, eating right.
Yeah.
So yeah, you doing all the right things. I mean, you look at a guy like LeBron. He's still in the league. That's my GOAT, but I don't know.
I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I'm there with. So it's funny. I was just having a conversation with somebody the other day. Like the GOAT conversation, it's personalized. So
Right.
it's like your GOATs may be different than mine. So my top 5. This isn't GOAT conversation.
Right.
This is just my top 5 players.
Yeah.
AI is number 1. That was in that era. AI number 1. Kobe number 2. Then LeBron.
Okay.
Then I'll give MJ.
Yeah.
And then Carmelo. That's my GOATs.
Your
Not that they're the
personalized,
greatest of all time, but that's my GOATs. But who's your top 5?
I'm gonna just go top 3. You
Top
know,
three,
you got to
okay.
go with LeBron,
Okay.
Jordan, and Kobe.
You can't go wrong. You
Yeah.
can't go wrong. Now, with Jordan, now you're getting into the semantics.
Right.
And, LeBron didn't call. It's like, bro. But when you right, LeBron, he's that dude. He's that dude. Which I'm gonna get to because you got to meet LeBron. I want to talk about like the benefits of pursuing greatness and digging deep and getting on the other side of it. So
Right.
we're gonna talk about that.
For sure.
But I just want to encourage people. Once again, this isn't a boxing podcast. It's about, hey, we all have a journey that we're trying to get to, but every journey, even though every journey looks different, the process is very similar.
Absolutely.
It's like you got to dig deep, you got to grind, you got to put in work, you got to recovery, which is what I want to get to. Like, there's seasons where you're gonna have to fight. You're gonna have to fight for your dream. You're gonna have to fight for whatever it is you're pursuing. But even though you can't be in fight mode all the time, you got to recover. So when you do recover, it helps you prepare for the next fight.
Absolutely.
So all right, so you were able to finish those 4 fights strong. You were able to compete. And now you're training for the Olympics 2024.
Exciting.
How, first of all, how was that experience?
The Olympics?
Yeah, like finding out, I should say that, okay, I'm going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so right then in that moment, I was just like, man, I'm going home an Olympian.
Yeah.
And so that process, gearing up, things, I would say, I couldn't really say I felt any, like, too much pressure. I was just ready to go out there, have fun, and show the world what I can do.
For sure.
So leading up to that camp, we trained in Colorado Springs, high altitude.
Okay.
And then we transferred over to Germany to get acclimated, 6 hours ahead, things like that. So we did a couple weeks in Germany. Then we took the train over to Paris.
Yep.
It's only an hour train ride. It was a good experience, my first train ride.
Yeah.
And so I get to the village, check in. I'm like, man, like, I'm really here.
Yeah.
So I get to my room. They kind of have the setup. My roommate is my teammates. And yeah, man, I get to the village. I'm just like, it's almost time.
All goats around you.
It's almost time, man. It's just
it's an experience.
I'm speechless.
I can
honestly,
imagine, man. So I want to pull from your experience and relate it to the people. So I love what you said, like the training process. You train here in the States, but your training was specific to where you were going.
Right.
So, okay, you trained in Colorado because of the high altitude. All right, then you said you trained in Germany so you can get used to the time change.
Acclimation camp.
Acclimation camp. That's a bar.
Yeah.
So what am I trying to get at? Whatever it is we're trying to pursue, we can't do it in a comfortable environment.
Right.
Because when you get into that real environment, you're like, oh, I wasn't prepared for this.
Right.
You know, altitude is different, timing is different, your body's different. You train in an environment where you want to be at, which is something that I harp on all the time. I tell people, yo, exposure. Expose yourself to other things out there. Get out of your hometown. Like, go, the world is so big. So I love the fact that you said, hey, training process. Would you say acclimation camp? I'm taking that first of all. Is that a boxing term?
No, that's what our camp is labeled as, acclimation camp.
I'm taking that. Or let me borrow. But yeah, acclimation camp. That's a bar. Okay, so how take me through that process, like acclimation camp.
It was different being in Germany versus being at what I've been training at for the past 3 years, which was in Colorado Springs.
Got it.
Because we have everything there. When you get to another country, it's like the food different, just the whole environment different. You gotta have specific slots to when and where we can train because other countries are there. Like it was different, but you have to be able to adjust.
Got to be able to adjust.
Yeah.
So many people I know, not just boxing, like sports, they're good when it's home court advantage.
Right.
But then when it ain't home court advantage, they're like, oh, wait a minute, I'm used to doing this at this time.
Right.
Or I'm used to, in my business, like speaking or coaching, because I'm used to only working with people. You may have a client on the West Coast, and now I'm working with some people now, they're in British Columbia, so they're on the other side. So they're like 3-4 hours behind. I'm having meetings 9-10 o'clock at night when it's 5-6, and you gotta acclimation camp. You gotta adjust. So yeah, man, that's a bar. So you were able to make those adjustments.
Yeah,
get used to that environment.
Definitely.
How long did it take you for you to get acclimated?
It took a couple weeks. Like towards the end of the acclimation camp, that's when I actually was just getting adjusted, and then we had to pack everything up, put it in the van. And we took the train over to Paris.
So as soon as you got not comfortable, but comfortable, like, all right, I got a rhythm. All right, we out. We're going we're going to something else.
Right.
Yo, that's crazy. Okay, I got you. So then you were able to, how much training did you do in Paris?
It was more of fine tuning, as we would say, revving the engine.
Okay.
So stuff like that, fine and tuning, doing mitts, light workout, light lifting, move around with my training with my teammates, and so just pretty much, and then we wait for the draw to come out to see who I'm fighting.
Okay, and then so all right, so before let me go there, and then I'm gonna come back. So all right, you find out who you're fighting, and you go through the process. Fast forward, all right, I got bronze. You were training obviously to win. Everybody trains to win.
Yeah. And
you got bronze. How did you feel? Like, you're obviously still excited. You're still able to stand on the podium, get them to come back home, Olympian, all that good stuff. Right. But I know you were training for gold. So how did that feel?
Got you. Can I take you through the day by day?
Take me through that, man, for sure.
So, so my first fight, like I told you, the draw came out. First fight, I won unanimous, which was, I put on an amazing performance. Yeah. The second fight, I win again, put on another dominant performance, and I even dropped.
You were tagging him. I watched it. You were tagging him. Okay.
And then we get to the third fight. It's the semifinals, and you keep looking at your Instagram sometime. Yeah. And Omari, he's the last hope. He's this and that. So I was like, okay, that's cool, but I never let the hype or
like that
just
pressure.
Like the environment that I'm in. Like, I feel like it's the Olympics, but it's the same ring I've been fighting in since I was 8 years old. Just a bunch of people watching.
That's a bar.
Yeah.
That's a bar. Okay.
We never, if you used to something, don't overthink it. It's been the same ring, because I actually, when we talk about transition, the first 2 fights was in a smaller arena. Then the semifinals was at the Roland Garros.
Yeah.
So I went from 6,000 to 15,000 people watching me, and it was still no difference.
Watching online, all that stuff, but it's the same fight. It's the same ring.
Exactly.
I love that.
So I get to my final fight. I feel like I did great. Round 1, round 2. I came back to the corner. They told me I'm down, so I go into the third round like, okay, it's just time to give it all I got and see what I can come away with. but I came short. But you know, the process and how I got there,
Some people
man.
believe you was cheated, but
Yeah,
that's another story. I know you. And once again, I love the leadership. It's like, you know what? Hey, I came short. It was a team that, but you know, some people believe you was cheated, but it's okay.
Yeah, man. The process is like the journey is just something that I love the most. Like when I just sometimes sit back in my room, like sometimes I just go to my fight, like man, I actually did it.
Yeah.
Like man, I actually like went to the Olympics. God gave me the vision. You know, a lot of that. I'm just thinking about it right now.
So all right. So fast forward to the wow. It materialized. Like I'm here. You're one of the greats amongst other greats in other sports and all that stuff. I saw you. You was with LeBron. You was with Team USA over there. And so it's like, man, I'm amongst the greats. How did that feel?
Yeah, it felt great, man, because it's like I'm one of them.
Yeah,
like we you know, we here in this thing together. So it was just like to have my name mentioned in the 2024 Olympics with those guys. Like, oh, Omari was there, and I will have my name written on the wall as being a Olympic medalist.
Yeah,
you know?
That's big. So once again, I want us to go, man, I want us to look at Omari's journey and go, okay, one thing you said, it's a process.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about like the power of consistency. And I love what you said. It's like, hey, once you get to that level, training's done.
Yeah.
It's just fine tuning and making sure that we're staying sharp.
Staying sharp.
Yeah. So what's the difference between training camp and all that stuff versus fine tuning?
So when you in training camp, that's 2 to 3 workouts a day. I'm talking about working.
Yeah.
Working. So that's either bag work, lifting, running, all of that. Sparring. When you get down to that week and a half, it's more so of mid work, you know, with your coach, some bag work, and some light miles, 3, 4, and even some sprints. You just want the heart rate to get up.
Got it.
So stuff like that.
So you're keeping your body adjusted to what it's been set at.
Exactly.
Versus falling off. But training is so if I could say it, all right, training is, hey, this is the bar. Training is we got to get there.
Yep.
And then what was the term you said? Once you're there, it's no longer training. Now it's just we're keeping it there. We're maintaining.
Yeah, we're maintaining our sharpness because the work is done. That's how you look at it. You can't, you know, go all out the whole week and then, you know, you have nothing for the fight. Yeah.
So yeah, man. So once again, as we look at our lives, it's like, hey, so many people I talk to and they're like, man, I wanna be an entrepreneur, or I wanna go to school, or I wanna be successful, whatever successful looks like, and they're waiting for that opportunity and then they're gonna get ready.
Yeah.
And my framework, you guys, if you've been listening for a while, I have a framework TBD. It's like the things that we do is based on the person we become.
Right.
But the person we become is based on the way we think. So if we think a certain way, then we'll live a certain way. And then if we live a certain way, we'll become an individual and then we'll do those things. So it's like so many people go, oh, I want to do this. You're nowhere being that person. Like you don't talk like that person. You don't think like that person. I want to be a millionaire. Or do you think like a millionaire? Do you do what millionaires do? All those things. So I want us to look at your journey and go, man, training. What does training camp look like? Are we in training right now? Because once we get to that level or the opportunity happens, we got to be ready. So once again, I love just hearing your journey, your story. And then once we get on the other side, we can see the parade. And so many people, they see the parade and, oh man, he's taking pictures with this person. He's here. He's doing commercials.
Right.
What's some of the commercials you've done recently? I saw some of the stuff. I'm like, okay.
Are you talking about, okay, yeah, that's my my merchandise commercial.
Yeah.
OmariBangerJones.com.
I'm gonna make sure they see it right back there in the tag. Gotcha. So you was doing some stuff with Ray-Ban. Yeah. What was some other stuff you've done?
Just working with. I just did Everlasting.
Yeah.
Box Raw. So it's
so many people look on the other side and they go, "Oh man, I want that. That's cool. That's dope. I want." But you've been putting in work, but they don't see the stuff that you've been doing behind the scenes. So take me on. Now that you're on the other side, like you said, man, I get to sit back and be like, man, wow. What are some stuff that you're thinking about now? What's some stuff that you're thinking about next?
Well, still working on my merchandise, getting that out there, and right now I'm actually writing a book about my Olympic journey.
Nice.
So that's gonna be coming out
Hey,
real soon.
y'all ready? Y'all ready? Okay. Is
Yeah.
that something 2025? Like something the next?
I'll say the next coming weeks, 2020, early 2025.
Let's go. So one thing, this is something I read a book one time, and as a young adult, and I feel like for some young adults they're like, man, I want this level of, especially social media, I want this level, this lifestyle, or I want to sit with this person, or I want to be cool with that person. We look at the outcome, but being able to write a book, a brand, clothing line, commercials, the status that you have now, it's because you put in the work.
Yeah.
And you have a story to tell. So going back to what I read a book one time, it was just talking about when you're young, kill lions. And obviously they weren't saying real lion, but kill a lion. When you look at, they said any successful person, when you get to that level of success, he didn't say they measure each other, but they look at what they had to go through to get to where they are now, and they welcome you because of the lion that you killed.
Right.
So it's like, man, I was able to kill this lion, and they walk around with especially in Africa, kings, so on and so forth. They had like the lion mane, and all that. It represents like, yo, I accomplished something.
Right.
I conquered something.
Right.
So often we want the other side of it, and we want the status, but we don't want to conquer anything.
Right.
So I want to kind of, what would you share to the people? It's like, man, I get it. I'm on this other side, but take us through that mindset of like, yo, I had to conquer something.
Yeah, just consistency, really. Day in and day out since I was 8 years old. It's been going to the gym, day in and day out.
Yeah.
Going, dedicating myself to the sport of boxing, and not letting anyone deter me, from my journey.
Yeah.
A lot of people say, oh, you could have, why not just go ahead and go pro or just do this? I said, when God give you a vision to do this, I've been saying Olympics since, watching it on the screen, and I'm just like, man, I want to get there. So anything we got to do, you got to get it by any means, pretty much. Like you say, the lion, that kind of brought me back to the Gladiator in 300 Days, the movie.
The movie, like he walked in, they sent him out at like that young adult. I'm saying young adult. He was maybe 11, 12,
yeah, he was
13.
a baby,
and it was like, live, fend for yourself, survive.
Back.
He came back with the mane. He came back with the skin on. Like, I conquered. I survived.
Right.
You know what I mean? So there's a level of, we want greatness, but at the same time, we don't understand. We got to go through that process.
You got to go through the process. That's that emotional part, that grimy, that's the part you got to get through. And I look back at it, and I just seen like, me having nights in my room, like I told you before, just wondering like, man, just praying like,
what's going on, guy? You with me?
Do you hear me?
Yeah.
So I feel like that part is so special that people can actually, like, even young kids at my gym, and like just everybody else in the city and around the world, my support from around the world, they can look at me and be like, wow, you inspired me to do that.
That's big. So one thing you said was like, man, I had to lock in, and I'm pretty sure you had to miss stuff.
Yeah.
You had to miss. So first of all, this is fam right here. So like, we remember like coming to the fan barbecues, so on and so forth. But there was a season where it's like, oh, where's Omari? He's training.
Yeah.
So talk about like, man, letting people down.
Yeah.
Not being able to do stuff. Like how were you able to handle that?
Right. Yeah. Most of my years leading up to the Olympics, the past 3-4 years, I was pretty much going in Colorado Springs. So like you say, family events, birthdays, just certain stuff, certain holidays.
Yep.
I couldn't be there. But when they say, a lot of people would say like, sacrifices and stuff, I always just say, I made the choice to live that life, and I wouldn't change anything,
And to be real, I tell people all the time, we all love family.
Right.
But at the same time, you ain't missed nothing. It's like sometimes like, oh, hey, you coming to something? I got to grind. I got to do this. I got to write this book. I got to train. I got to whatever. And it's just like, you fast forward, let's say 2-3 years later, and then you do come back. It's like, hey,
it's the same thing. It's the same thing going on.
Same thing. I love y'all, but same thing going on. So
Right.
yeah, no, but it was a mind. It sounds like you had. It's just a mindset.
Yeah, I knew they knew what I had to do. I knew
Yeah.
what I had to do. So it's like, y'all got me. All right.
Yeah.
I see y'all in Paris.
Oh, and some of the fam went there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
some
went
of the fam
for
went there.
sure.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So one thing I want to bring up, I didn't know. So meanwhile, as you're training, you were going to school.
Yeah.
So you just recently graduated. Shout out to you.
Hey.
Shout out to you. My dude graduated as well. So take us through that process too. It's like, all right, I'm training for the Olympics. You got every reason to just lock in on that. I'm gonna give school a break, or I'm gonna give this a break, whatever. But you were able to do both. So take us through even how challenging was that?
That was pretty challenging. Just time management with my training. Like I told you, 3 workouts a day. That was definitely tough, and I just had to manage it after rigorous training. Come back to my dorm tired, but it's like this assignment got to get due, or else,
Yup.
or else that grade ain't gonna be submitted. So
The teacher ain't show you no favors.
nah,
No favors, no
no
love.
favors. I asked them. I tell them I'm going to a tournament. Well, that's cool,
But it's due at midnight. That's wild. That's wild.
so I had to go through that. But like
Okay.
I said, it was, a process. It was a
Yeah.
process getting through that. I graduated from Valencia College, and yeah, man, that was pretty much it. It's like I started it. I could have, it was times too. I was like, man, why am I in school? And
That's what I'm. Yeah.
So, but it's like, nah. My mindset is always like, I started it. I want to finish it.
And that's something that I wish I would have learned earlier in life. Like mindset is everything.
Yeah.
Mindset is, and once again, that's even that term mindset. It's like your mental thoughts are set in a certain way that if you don't have the right mindset, you'll continue to get the same results. So you had the mindset of like, look, whatever I start, I got to finish. Yeah. You had every excuse to be like, bro, I'm training for the Olympics. I'm gonna give school a break, but you said no. I still want to accomplish this and finish this. Right. What was the drive behind that? Was it like, man, I made a promise to myself? Was it I made a promise to my parents? Like, what was the mindset behind that?
Yeah, it was a little bit of both.
Okay.
Just a commitment to myself. Like, man, you can't just stop going to school if you almost there from the finish line, And then for my parents, of course, like, they know I've been going to school and doing that, so they want to see the outcome as well. And I actually have 2 older brothers that graduated from FAM, so it's like education. Just
Shout out to FAM.
Yeah,
okay,
that's where you went.
Yeah,
Okay.
FAM, you got to represent.
Yeah.
I love BCC, but or BCU. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
but we know FAMU is where it's at. But
No,
all right, go
for
ahead. My
sure.
bad.
And so like the background is like kind of education, and I seen them do that. So it's like, you know what, to graduate from college is a big accomplishment.
For sure.
And I'm gonna just go ahead and finish it. And it happened to be the year of the Olympics, so it's like,
talk about it, man. Timing. No, that's amazing, man. Amazing story. So what are some things? All right, graduated, check. Came back home an Olympian, check. What are some stuff that you feel like, all right, what's next on the agenda? What's next on the list? What do you have that you can share? I know you got some stuff that you're working on that you can't share.
Yeah.
What are some stuff that you can share?
well, right now still just training, man. Just not getting satisfied with what I did, because I seen what I did with the Olympics. I enjoyed it, and you can't let the enjoyment kind of stop your process of growth.
Yep.
So I did that. I'm looking back on it, so I'm like, all right, it's time to get back in the gym.
I love it.
It's time to start working on a book to show people what you've done. And
Yeah.
we gonna have some news coming out soon.
Come
I
on.
can't really
I feel
expose it.
whenever you do share, then you come back,
Yeah,
so we can go ahead and
exactly.
talk about. But no, I love what you said. It's like, hey, once again, it goes back to the mindset. I love your mindset. It's like, hey, I have every reason to celebrate. I came back an Olympian. I graduated. I could chill. But going back to even the conditioning aspects, like, no, you're used to living a certain way. You're used to train. Even with scheduling this, it's like, I can come between this time and this time. I got a training session here. And you're used to that mindset. So once again, this isn't a boxing podcast, but for whatever it is that we're trying to get to, whatever level of success we're trying to get to, exposure is big. And once you get exposed to it and conditioned to it, it becomes second nature.
Yeah.
And then now we can level up because of the foundation that was built on.
Absolutely.
So, like I said, I know people. Oh man, I want to be a millionaire. I want to do this, or I want to be a speaker. I want to be amazing, awesome. I'm big proponent on gifts and using your purpose and all that. But you got to build the foundation, because once you get there, you can't train for there when you're there. You got to train for there now.
Right.
So, I love that you have that mindset of just staying consistent. How challenging is it to not take the foot off the gas?
For me, it's not too challenging, because it's like my pops, my coach, they actually got to hold me back, because
you be ready to go.
Yeah, after another session, I'll be ready to run some miles, so it's like, man, I just love, it's like when you love it, it's in you, and it's like, I just want the foot on the gas. Let's go ahead and I want to be great. So it's like, I do it right. I really believe that I'll be in those great conversations.
For sure. I mean, we see it already at such a young age. So absolutely love it, man. So if there's something that you would want to share with other individuals, like, man, I know you have a dream. I know you're pursuing greatness. What was some stuff that you would want to share?
My first thing I'll share is always keep God first. And that's the first thing. Second thing, if you really want it, go get it.
Go get it.
You got to go get it by any means. I took the Uber to the gym. I took a bus to the gym. It's like, like I said, I really always needed to be there, felt like I needed to be there. Yeah. So if you want something bad enough, you're going to do anything to make it happen. And in that process, it's going to be some ups and downs. But if you, like I said, if you want it, don't let it deter you or throw you off. Yep. Remain consistent. Remain consistent. So yeah, man. That's pretty much what I let them know.
I love it. Yeah. And then one thing you brought up earlier that I wanted to kind of bring it back to was boxing, golf, tennis, so to speak. We look at the person because it's them. It's Serena, it's Tiger, it's this person, is that, but it's a team.
Yeah.
So talk about the importance of a team as it relates to even boxing. It's like, man, it's not just me, it's my team.
Right. Well, we know the saying, like, it takes a village. Like, from my parents, dad and mom, from my mentors to my coaches to my close friends to the people handling my brand, like all of that. It's like the stuff going on behind the scenes. They just see me, show up and do my thing. But yeah, man, it's really a team that, molds you and have you make all the right decisions. Can you go over this for me? Can we talk about this? And, they really doing their thing. So shout out to my team. Shout out to my team.
Shout them out. One of my coaches, he says, you don't go as far as your dream. You go as far as your team. And he's like,
that's a bar,
bro,
right?
that's a bar. Shout out to UPD. But yeah, so, and it's the truth. It's like, hey, you can have this great, huge dream. I want to do all this. But if you don't have a team to help connect those dots, and, there's things that you're gifted at, but then there's things that are, this isn't a strong suit, or this isn't a skill set that I have. Right. You have people that you can lean on. How important is a coach? How important is coaching?
Oh yeah, coaching is very important. That takes you to the next level and kind of, how you perform. Like a real coach knows what you need. A real coach knows you, knows how to push the limits. Like, critiques you on certain stuff. All right, you need to pivot like this or throw it like that. Little tweaks like that is what's going to take you to the next level. So, man, the coaches.
I love it.
Really
so
important.
As it relates to, once again, it's not just boxing in life. So that's one thing I do, coach, consult. I tell people all the time, you got to have a coach.
Oh yeah.
And I love what you said. It's like, hey, they'll watch what you do to pick up on things that you don't even realize.
Right.
So you'll say, hey, you're doing this great, but you need to pivot. It's not necessarily change everything altogether. You just need to make a small tweak, etc. And You gotta. It doesn't matter what area. You got to have a relationship coach, financial coach, spiritual coach. You got to have a coach. So
because outside the ring, of course, like I said, my parents, I have 2 mentors, coach, close friend, people that's really been in my corner to all right, tighten up now.
Yeah. I see you taking it, tighten up now. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. I love it, man. Well, I appreciate you, bro. I respect your time. I know you got a lot going on. You said you got a session coming up soon, right?
Yeah, right after this.
Right after this. So, if people, once again, if they haven't followed you already, how can people follow you online?
Follow me on Instagram at Banger Put Dem DEM pause, and then just go to my website omaribangerjones.com for all my other social media stuff, all my merchandise, book coming out soon.
Let's go. You got a title already?
You
can't say it. Okay. I got you. But I'll put all the tags there at the bottom for everybody. But appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you guys. As always, once again, I want us to kind of listen to this and say, you know what? All right, as I pursue my dream, I have a dream. I feel like God put something on my heart, whether it may be from when you were a kid or maybe it's something that just hit you now. There's gonna be steps. There's a process that we got to take. There's training camp that we got to go through, and I want us to keep that vision in front of us, but understand that it's a process, and you got to have grit, you got to have grind, you got to have a coach, you got to have a team. All of these elements to get to where we ultimately want to go. But hey, I am here with you on your journey to greatness. So if you haven't done so already, go ahead, join the tribe, subscribe. Go ahead, click the like button. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.